David, we had a very clear view there of this audience, which we think is representative, that a majority should come. Can you just give a quick response there from the people of Hong Kong?
Yes, I should tell you there was a loud ripple of applause when that vote was taken here. Perhaps I could put the question to Martin Lee. What's your response to the views expressed and to that vote that was taken?
I'm very encouraged by it. It in fact supports what I've been saying, thinking all the time, that the people in Great Britain are honourable, but not the government.
David, David, thank you very much for that. And I'm going to come back here now to Sir Geoffrey. You heard what the people said in that audience, Sir Geoffrey. You heard what was said in Hong Kong. You saw that vote. We don't pretend that that is a precise referendum. However, it is a clear reflection that a large number of people do share the view that the people of Hong Kong should be allowed to come in here. In the light of that, and in the light of what you said about the anxieties concerning doubling potentially the ethnic minority of this country, do you think perhaps you may have rushed to judgment, misjudged the temper of the British people, the sense of honour that they have?
I think not. No, I can think that it's very understandable that an audience of this kind, assembled in a programme of this kind, presented with the case in such direct human terms as this, would feel that it wanted to respond in that way if it possibly could. I think one has to take one's mind back to the practicalities that were being emphasised by some people. If you take your mind back, you see, to the much smaller tragedy we faced when the East African nations were turned out of their home. We had then tens of thousands of people, only a very tiny handful. That created the most formidable problems. I believe that those problems will be repeated on a much larger scale in face of the possibility of 3.25 million people from Hong Kong.
But given that the government's role in these matters and in others is to lead, would it not be incumbent on you if this view that we've expressed here, and there's been a Gallup poll which has come up with very similar results, very even balance, isn't it incumbent on you, as it were, to seek to reflect that apparent tolerance rather than to shut it off with the view that apparently you believe the members of Parliament would hold if you sought to modify the law to let those people in?
One has to reflect all the factors, and I fully understand the extent to which people would like to reach out in this way. I fully understand.
Is a change possible?
I think one's got to think very, very deeply before one contemplated that possibility.
But if you...
the fact is, you see, if one looks at the whole problem, and Martin Lee raised a matter in a rather different sense. He said that he didn't even think we were trying to create a future for the people of Hong Kong. I hope and believe that those with whom I've worked there over the years we've been concerned know that we have actually put all our effort and all our energy to trying to establish a future on the basis of the agreement, which was warmly welcomed by the people of Hong Kong. Now, I fully understand the point made by some later on about the extent to which the events of recent weeks have shattered a view that has built up in the last 10 years. I fully understand why people are making the bid they're now making, that we've been discussing in this programme. But I come back to the fact that for a British government and the British Parliament to accept the obligation to admit 3.25 million people is an obligation we should have to regard as realistic. I think it would be a very, very formidable step to commend